Hi, it's Paul Sakis, Good News Broadcast, and the Water Hour host. I guess that's what I'm doing here. And so today is August 9th, and yesterday, August 8th, we had a very major weather concern and condition that happened here in New York. There was a twister in Brooklyn, no less, and water problems all over. And I would say that water is on the mind of a lot of people more and more so. I'm going to get right into some of the, I guess, concerning aspects. As you know, on Good News, we talk about both sides, about the good things about water and not so good things about water. But I would like to I feel obligated to talk about concerns right now about the water condition worldwide. So this is something that was just sent to me a couple minutes ago by Laura Seidel, who's Ted Turner's daughter. And Ted was one of the first actual patrons, I would like to thank him, of Good News Broadcast many years ago, almost 9 years ago, and we're doing this 10 years. But they sent a letter that was sent out here, Climate News, because Laura's very involved with climate concerns, from the New York Times, August 7, 2007, great newspaper. Early 2007 saw record-breaking extreme weather, the UN, Geneva. The world experienced a series of record-breaking weather events in the early 2007, from flooding in Asia to heat waves in Europe, snowfall in South Africa. The United Nations Weather Agency said on Tuesday, the World Meteorological Association, WMO, said a global land surface temperatures in January and April were like the warmest since records began in 1880, at more than 1 degree Celsius higher than the average of those months, okay? The monsoon floods in South Africa, abnormally heavy rains. This is all water stuff. Northern Europe, China, Sudan, Mozambique, Uruguay. Extreme heat waves in Southeast Europe and Russia, okay? The start of the 2007 was a very active period in terms of extreme weather conditions. While most scientists believe extreme weather events will be more frequent as heat-trapping carbon dioxide emissions cause global temperatures to rise, Baddour, who is, I guess, with the World Meteorological Association, said it was impossible to say with certainty what the second half of 2007 would bring, okay? And then Austin Tang and Emily Siegel, working here now, sent me something else. Global warming. Well, yesterday what happened here in New York, so much information, I don't know what to say, actually. But so what happened in New York is that National Weather Service said a tropical air mass dumped an extraordinary amount of rain in a short period of time, okay? The most was recorded between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. with 2.5 inches falling in Central Park and almost 3.5 inches in Kennedy Airport. Global warming is expected to result in more extreme weather because of changes in atmospheric wind patterns and the ability of warmer air to hold more moisture, said Martin Manning, the head of INTER. Here's another organization. So point that I'm trying to say here is that there are people that are looking at these things, thinking about these things, and figuring out how do we deal with these kinds of things. But as we always say, we're all in this together. What we are is what we are for each other. So the head intergovernmental panel on climate change, working group in physical science of climate change, from the heat of, and there's another blah, blah, heat of fossil fuel burning, nature will respond with water in overabundance, seeking a balance, to commondreams.org. Okay, so there's some concerns. I'm starting the show with concerns about water, and then I saw something in the paper here, House tilts towards windmills and biofuels. So the government of the United States is looking at some environmental changes. So let's get on the positive mindset here. Today we have a wonderful program and sharing some more thoughts about water and just plain old talent in life and positiveness in their being. So hopefully Reed and Sonia will call us. They had a wonderful 100th day anniversary party, and they were up also at the National Museum of Natural History. And joining us today will be Dawn Barnes, and she's a wife of the ambassador of the UN from Liberia and has a foundation as well, and she'll share her thoughts with us. We have Bishop Johnson who is with the Church of the Village here in New York, Progressive United Methodist Community. Bob Bisaccia is the Executive Vice President of the American Fire Suppressants. We're going to learn about some technology that is placed into water that can take a fire and diminish the amount of time that it takes to put it out. Very great concept and actualization. So that's good news. And La Sarah is going to sing, and we'll talk to her, and she has a program. And then we have a segment from our experience at the Canary Islands, the Grand Canary, for the Campus '07 that we're so excited about. We have Roque, Calero, Perez, who's the director with Las Palmas University in the Grand Canary. We're going to learn a lot about desalination of water, reverse osmosis, and what they are literally doing to take the seawater and make it drinkable, which is another concern out there because there's not water everywhere, and I think we're going to learn about that. Okay, so welcome to the show. Remember, you can ask questions to the event. You can chat online and reduce, reuse, recycle. So let's go right to Dawn. Hi, Dawn. How are you?
Hi, Paul. It's a pleasure to be here.
Actually, Dawn and I met each other. I met yourself and your husband, the ambassador to the UN from Liberia, at the Campus '07 event. And we hit a friendship. And we're talking now about maybe doing a program called Good News Africa about the positive news and the good things going on there. So in regard to water, and you're a professional broadcaster as well, so in regard to water in the country of Liberia, what is the water condition there, would you say?
Well, Paul, it's very interesting because I would characterize Liberia as a land of abundance, but yet so little safe drinking water. That's because we get 145 inches of rain a year. That means it starts raining in April and it rains clear until October. We also have many rivers, many lakes. We're on the coast of West Africa, and we have a very long Atlantic Ocean coastline. So that means that we have lots of water. But because of the climate, we also have a tremendous amount of bacteria and things that make the water, the surface water, unsafe for drinking. And so in order to really give the people access to safe drinking water, many initiatives are underway to dig deep wells, to bore holes into the ground and surface safe drinking water. Many NGOs, United Nations agencies, private people are doing this. So we're getting water to people, but it's not easy.
Okay. But let me see if I understood what you said. You said that it rains 145 inches of rain. Okay, is that a lot of rain?
That's a lot of rain. 100.
Okay, because we just had 3 inches in one day.
Yeah.
But that was unusual.
Yes.
Right. So 140. So you get a lot of rain. Are you able to collect the rain? In other words, it seems to me, which is one of the points that have been brought up here on the 25 hours of programming, and in some countries, Bermuda, they take it off of the roofs and they put it into some place. Do you do that in Liberia?
Well, I'm not aware of all the things that they're doing because the rainwater is one thing, but there's an abundance of water anyway. So the thing of it is to make it safe. So I think what would happen if they collected the rainwater, it would need to be in some way treated. And I'm sure that there's some things underway like that. But one of the things about having so much water is that it gives you access to energy. We don't have electricity throughout Liberia. As you know, we're coming out of a civil crisis that has lasted more than 20 years of war and total infrastructural destruction. And so we're looking at ways of producing electricity, and we're looking at environmentally friendly ways of doing that, whether it's solar or using hydro. And those are very expensive things, especially the hydro could be quite expensive, but certainly because we get so much water, we may be able to generate enough electricity to even provide to neighboring areas and countries.
I just suggest, because Roque, who's Perez, who's the Las Palmas University gentleman, we talked a lot about windmills. Windmills was one of the ways that they're able to get the whole process to work. And there was thoughts and suggestions. I interviewed another gentleman who will be on Good News about putting windmills in Africa, because we do know that the Campus '07 was giving thought about Africa. Mm-hmm. And it would seem to me that probably you might be able to get two, because the windmills can produce actually hydrogen, so maybe you get electricity, maybe you get water filtering. But obviously some good things are happening. You have a new president, is that right?
We have a president. She's been in power for a little over a year.
Say that again.
First woman president on the continent of Africa ever, democratically elected. An overwhelming success. This woman is a Harvard-trained economist. We are very optimistic for the future of our country.
That's good news.
It is.
That's
wonderful
great.
News.
We have some, if we can get to this website, hopefully, tlcafrica.com. Beth, I wonder if you can put that up. Okay. So what's on here?
Well, this is a website a young woman started about Liberia. So it gives people, investors, tourists, just general information about Liberia. But this particular site that you have up now is a link about our waterways. You can see the beautiful view of that river, the Kavala River, I believe it is. We're on the coastline, as you can see the map of Liberia in the lower corner there. You see what a long, beautiful coastline on the Atlantic Ocean we have. So we have rivers, we have lakes, we have water everywhere in Liberia, and it is a main source of our survival because there's the potential for fishing industry, the potential, as you say, to harness the water for electricity. There's so many opportunities with water for Liberia. So I think this program is an excellent opportunity for me to say to people, go to Liberia, check out our water, and see what the good news is about Liberia.
Well, I'm ready to dive in.
It
seems beautiful, and on the are there beachy areas?
There are lots of beautiful beaches. One of the problems has been that we have a shelf that drops sharply. That means that the water may not be the safest for swimming yet, but the technology is rapidly coming in to do things so that you don't have, like, all of a sudden from 6 feet to several hundred feet in terms of the way it drops and making it almost unsafe for beach. But we do have some recreational beaches now, and the technology is coming into place to develop more and more recreational beaches. But there's certainly many opportunities for offshore, for deep sea fishing. There's even, we're finding offshore oil. So, you have all your big oil companies coming to the Liberian waterways to look for oil supplies.
Well, I learned when I was at the event, the Campus of Excellence, 52% of the natural resources of the world are in Africa. So obviously,
I didn't know that.
Liberia has some of them as well. So, well, congratulations to your new president.
Thank you.
That's a very major step in the world, and obviously you will be doing more and more wonderful things for the country, and your husband is the ambassador to the United Nations. And yourself, what's your foundation? What do you do there?
My foundation is called Aurora Foundation, and we established it because we were fortunate as Liberians to get a good education and have opportunities to live and work abroad during the war. So when we went back home to live in 2000, we saw the devastation, and we just sort of asked our friends to help us, and we pooled our resources and started helping with building schools. Very often we find when you get into a very rural community, there's no water, no safe drinking water, so we were in the business of digging wells. Just any little thing that we could do, scholarships for students. It's a foundation that is a charitable one, but our motto is that we try to help people to help themselves.
A beautiful motto.
Yes.
Obviously, your husband's very fortunate because you're very well spoken and very positive for your country, and a good representation as well.
Well,
thank you, and I'm so excited we're going to do our program together, Good News in Africa, because it's all about, well, I like that TLC because I'm sensing that might be tender loving care.
It's really for the Liberian connection, but
I'm calling it.
But I think coincidentally, TLC. Yes.
Well, it's all good. So, Dawn, thank you very much for coming over. Great.
Thank you so much.
All right, so we're going to bring in our next guest, which will be Bishop Johnson, who's actually here in the New York area, but also has spent time actually in Liberia and in other parts of Africa, to hear some of his thoughts and life in certain situations and where things have taken him in his ministry. And so I thought that it would be actually a good idea to have some ministry representation. This Bishop Johnson is our first minister on the Water Hour, I guess number 25. It's about time. Well, except myself. I guess I'm a reverend, interfaith minister, ordained as of last year, which I'm very, very proud of, and have conducted some beautiful ceremonies over the time. And I only say that because the people were very happy and they were good friends, and there's nothing more blessed than to have that chance to share in a joyous occasion. In fact, my family and I are heading down to a wedding this weekend all together, from childhood friendships with my daughter and my little grandson, the next generation. So this program is, of course, or not of course, but will affect, but for me it's very important for my grandson to be able to live in peace and harmony and in life, and be able to have clean drinking water and clean food, and so he has a wonderful, wonderful existence. So we're here now with Bishop Johnson. Bishop Johnson, you had your hand up a little. Was there something you wanted to ask? You're fine? Okay, all right. I want to make sure you're comfortable here. Welcome to the show. It's nice to see you.
Nice to be with you.
So our mutual friend Keith Fifeson, who's helping us here now with some marketing over at Good News. And actually, Keith is the gentleman who helped me, or introduced me to the new seminary, which is where I got my interfaith ministry ordination. And now he said, Bishop Johnson is the man you need to meet, and
he's more than kind.
All right. So tell us, it's the Church of the Village, a progressive United Methodist community. Tell us a little bit about the organization.
Sure. First, I want to invite you to church on Sunday because Reverend Fifeson is preaching. So I thought maybe you might want to come and hear your colleague. He's spoken much about you as well. Just thought I'd give him a commercial.
I think that's true, and he said he had to go out there and work on his sermon, so I can appreciate it, and thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, well, the United Methodist Church, of course, like many of the major denominations, is a worldwide denomination, about 8 to 10 million across the country, and pretty much the United States, Asia, Europe, and Africa is where our congregations are. Been around for a little while. 1784, hailing
One more
in.
time.
Oh, sure. Been around for a little while, starting 1784.
Yeah. I think I heard it right. I was trying to move the number. 1784. So who started it? All right.
John Wesley in England began the Methodist movement, which began as a small group, holiness-style movement of great accountability. As a matter of fact, very much like AA meetings, helping people to work together to hold their sense of spiritual discipline, their lives together, and things of that nature. So many denominations and movements, such as Salvation Army, pretty much the holiness movement, kind of had some of their upbringing out of this Methodist movement that started way back when in America. So today we are still a very large denomination, but like many of the mainline denominations, find ourselves teeter-tottering in membership decline and things of that nature. So we're experimenting and trying a lot of new and wonderful things, and quite frankly, my being here is a part of an experiment. I was the bishop over the state of New Jersey from 1996 to 2004, and in 2004 I retired, and the Bishop of New York asked if I would come to New York, and he knew I was very interested in urban ministry. I've studied urban ministry, urban churches and development for some time, and asked if I would take on 3 small urban congregations in the village and try to make one brand new thing. Very clearly not a merger, but trying to make something new happen. And so our new name is the Church of the Village, a progressive United Methodist community, which we started. And we were lucky, just fortunate to be able to draw people like Keith Fifeson, who come to be a part of us.
Beautiful. You know, the part of the reason why I wanted on the show, the Water Hour, to have you as our guest, and in this case our first minister guest, is that with water, as I mentioned earlier, in reading some of these National Weather Service and the United Nations and meteorological organizations, intergovernmental panels, and so on and so forth, it's a worldwide concern. And the way that situations worldwide will be remedied is through organizations, I think, because you have a family, let's call, of Methodists
Yes.
community who the grapevine, you can get the word out. Is there something we can do? And I think that's an important aspect of how this is all going to need to be considered, because in essence the environment does affect everybody, but we have in essence taken on relationships with the groups, and to be able to utilize those relationships in a positive ways, because they're doing so many positive kinds of things, because that's what these religious organizations are really, the truly believers are pursuing, and is to do good for the community and the community of themselves and the community outside of themselves. And so I'm a positive believer in that, and I want to look at that, and that's a real important reason why I'm happy to have you kick off that aspect of it.
Well, I'm happy to be a part of it, and having been an active bishop, now retired, and haven't traveled a whole lot, only to Russia, England, Caribbean, Liberia. But as we spoke briefly, traveling around has changed my sense of the issue around water and the community of the world, which I feel myself to be a part of, not just a Methodist community, but a community of the world, similar to yourself as an interfaith minister. So you're right, and we are part of national and global movements to bring water in its positive aspects around the world and in its good ways. We've got at least nearly 50 special projects that we promote throughout the world, from everything from just digging wells or creating new technologies around water. Speaking with Dr. Randy Nugent earlier, who's the former General Secretary of our General Board of Global Ministries, he shared with me not only were there projects far and wide, but even in Newburgh, New York, where they taught urban environments how to make water and salt and literally grow vegetables in a new kind of technologies in an inner city environment.
Really?
To help for health and nutrition for poor kids in the inner city.
Really? I'd be interested today. Let's give him a holler and get him down to the show.
I mentioned that to him, and I think he would be very open to that.
Okay, good. See, this is where it's all about. We're trying to be a home for these thoughts. So maybe we can have more at the end of all this. Some solutions, maybe, something that salt in the water in the downtown Newburgh might be the solution for somebody in, Liberia or in Czechoslovakia.
Exactly.
Who knows? Where.
Exactly.
So we're all in it together. It's one big planet Earth. We have all these Earth balls here.
Indeed.
You did mention to me you were in Liberia, let's say, and that you at some point had some concerns or about having some drinking water, right?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, when I was the bishop in New Jersey, all of the 50 United States bishops developed partnership with bishops outside of the United States around the issue of children. And we did that for about 12 years, raised several millions of dollars, and focused on children. Well, one of those major issues had to do with water. And the shelters in Liberia during the wartime, when I was there in 2002, water was so precious. I had no idea. I mean, somewhat as a social liberal, you read about it and you have feelings about it and you worry about it, but until you're there, until you get in the water, if I may use that expression, it is hard to know the preciousness of drinkable, washable water. I really felt it when people got up early in the morning to make sure I had fresh water. The faucets, during the war, there was no irrigation, no plumbing, and things like that. But they made sure I had fresh water to wash in. I've never had to flush my own toilet by using my own water before, but this time I did. And so the same water I used to flush the toilet was the same water I used to wash in the morning and to do all kinds of things that would normally just go from one faucet to another here in the States. A whole understanding of water in the hospitals and the needs of just washing wounds and not having the kind of water we would normally have. So it became a very important issue, as Bishop John Ennis, the Bishop of Liberia, would share with me, things that we take so much for granted in these states.
Okay, it's very important information. I'm so happy you're sharing this besides the ministry and between your experience. I'm blessed that I'm using some of those terminology of my ministry background, and I'm proud too to join us here today. And you're always welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good. Okay, so today is this kind of a day where a couple more concerns. I just think I have health crisis here. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the UN umbrella group of hundreds of experts, has noted that the increasing trend in extreme weather events over the past 50 years and said irregular patterns are likely to intensify. Well, we mentioned that. We mentioned that heavy rains also doused southern China in June, with nearly 14 million people affected by floods and landslides, killed 120 people. Uruguay, who we just had the president of Uruguay on Good News, former president Luis Calais, had its worst flooding since 1959. Really, in May. Interesting. I think those are some of the things he was speaking about at the Campus of Excellence. So what we're going to do now is bringing in Bob Bisaccia. He's a longtime friend and a man who has a product. He's the executive vice president of this American fire suppressant company and has a new technology called F500 technology. Hello, Bob. How are you?
Paul, how are you? So nice to see you.
Nice to see you. And I'll also have to add that Bob is one great singer.
Thank you very much.
But Bob, what you had shown me, I guess I guess it was just a couple of days ago, and you've shown it to me before, is a product that can help the world. And why don't you tell us about it?
Well, F500 is a water mixture product that is mixed with water anywhere from 1% to 6%, and it turns water into a magical fire suppressant agent. It allows water to penetrate the source of whatever is burning, from any Class A, Class B, and in the mist system of any electrical fire. It decreases the incredible time in extinguishing a fire that's magical. It also neutralizes all fuel contents, turns black toxic smoke into white vapor, and it's hazardous, it's non-hazardous, it's biodegradable, and it's a magical source that really makes water more than just a liquid agent to fight fires and decreases the water damage tremendously, Paul. We've been very successful in Europe. We've been very successful with the country of Italy, who's taking it on now for their complete naval forces. We've had several buildings in the United States that are presently retrofitting their existing sprinkler systems to take this substance on because it is non-corrosive and non-hazardous, and you don't have to change any of the existing valves or sprinkler heads. We just completed the Goodyear Tire Company in Baltimore, where pending on the zoning, they were only allowed to stack the tires 7 high. Now we can stack them up 15 high because of the fire suppressant value of what F500 is. The company that I represent owns the patent, and we have a deal with that in Atlanta, Georgia, that's American-made, American invented, and American Fire Suppressant has the complete distributory arrangements to do whatever we have to do. I've been involved with this thing now for a couple of years, and the success of it at the demonstrations has been incredible. But we're up against many different major corporations that have been sitting back waiting for us perhaps to go bankrupt because the patent is on a 12 or 14-year time period. and all of the major chemical companies have multi-million-dollar contracts with the United States government and other sources. So we've been just sitting back, doing what we have to do in the right way. We've been very successful in arranging the fire extinguishers with Con Edison recently, where they have protected their emergency generators and fuel supplies. And we can also supply countless numbers of fire extinguishers. We're in the process of getting the valves approved, but the basis of F500 has been all approved. It's been underwriters' approval. We've been speaking to the shipping agencies and the tanking people. And the key of it neutralizing all kinds of fuel and putting out magnesium and titanium fires is incredible.
Let's go to the video, okay? Because you'll see some examples of this of his DVD, and let's give it a shot.
Firefighters have come to rely on F500's quick knockdown power, its ability to instantly remove heat and render Class B fuels inert. We have several written and video testimonials from firefighters who've told us about the incredible results and enhanced safety they've achieved with F500 in the field. F500 was tested on both Class A and Class B materials and is listed and registered as a CUL-US wetting agent in the United States and Canada. F500 should be applied at 1% on Class A fires, 3% on Class B fires, and 6% on Class B polar solvents and metals fires. This presentation will introduce you to the properties of F500 that make it much more than a mere wetting agent and an integral tool currently in service with leading municipal and industrial fire departments in the United States, Canada, and around the world. In this first segment, we're introducing the cooling capabilities of F500. We're using a propane blowtorch to superheat this plate of steel up to the point where the paint reaches its auto-ignition temperature on the opposite side. A laser barometer is used to measure the increase and decrease in temperature, which tops out at about 1300 degrees. We apply F500 using a 2.5-gallon pressurized water fire extinguisher with a solution using 1/2 pint of the F500 concentrate. Listen as the instructor reads out the rapid decrease in heat as the solution is applied to the surface. The plate has been permanently cooled to the point where the trainer can now remove his glove and touch the surface on both sides. This permanent decrease in temperature removes the heat from potentially ignitable vapors and achieves much better results than those achieved using water alone or water with any other additive.
F500 is the new chemistry in firefighting because of the way it reacts with the fire tetrahedron. Unlike conventional foams that extinguish fires by eliminating the oxygen component through the formation and maintenance of a foam blanket, F500 reacts with the fuel, heat, and free radical components of the fire tetrahedron through the formation and maintenance of micelles. Remember, F500 is non-toxic, non-corrosive, and biodegradable. F500 is an effective agent for extinguishing tire fires. In this demonstration, one firefighter with a 2.5-gallon pressurized water extinguisher will completely extinguish 6 fully involved automobile tires. As the firefighter attacks the fire, watch the smoke turn from black to gray to white, indicating the elimination of hydrocarbons being expelled into the air. F500 can also be applied through sprinkler systems. Here we give 10 pounds of tire chips adequate pre-burn time to activate conventional sprinkler systems in warehouses and storage facilities. These tire chips are extinguished in less than 10 seconds.
F500 is listed as a CUL-US wetting agent.
That showed the quality of F500 in neutralizing gasoline. But if anybody would like any more information, we have an email, nyconsultants@aol.com. I can send them a copy of the DVD, CD-ROM, and a copy of our brochure, along with any type of ordering or any type of demonstration that we would go anywhere in the United States to show any of the agencies how critical and how wonderful F500 is and how it can react with water. That's unbelievable.
With the, just go back to the gasoline. I mean, a gasoline fire is a very serious fire.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean,
absolutely.
And so this can...
neutralizes gasoline and all types of fuel. And the video, we had a demonstration in Canada, in Toronto, where they took it, where we put a gallon of gasoline in a tub, 3 ounces of F500, 3.5 gallons of water, no mixture included. You don't have to stir it or anything. Lit up 5 rubber tires, and literally scooped up the gasoline, the water, and the F500 and put out the fire.
So this can, in essence, and how about on wood in someone's house?
It is excellent in a Class A dwelling, which that is the type of fire rating that is in a home. Furniture, rugs, formica, building material, instantly. And the key is it decreases the water damage after the fire is out. And there's no flashbacks or burnouts typical of what you would have with foam or any of those other chemical agencies, because all they do is take away the oxygen. And they're not biodegradable and non-toxic. And once you hit any kind of machinery or furniture or any kind of something with the foam, after the fire goes out, you've got to throw it away, typical of what they have to do to an engine. This is water. This will not harm a sewer. This will not stop the plant life. This will just carry on as water carries on. And it makes it something that's magical. And this is what we're up against. Perhaps if I had several $100,000 to hire a marketing agent and go through all that I had to go through, we would probably be on the stock market at this point. But we discovered this thing, and the idea is, Paul, after being where we have been and coming from where we come from, there are a lot more important things in our life than just making money. We want to share, and we want to save people's lives and damage. And that's the key to what we've been doing with American Fire Suppressant. And that's why I want to do it. And that's why I want to continue. And typical of the way you have helped me do my promotion on my singing, that's what I want to do to protect our veterans and to decrease the damage and to make life more easily.
Okay, Bob's been a friend for a long time. He's a man that's 50 times more than his words and actions. And we're working also on another project for the returning vets and their families, which we're very proud. And he's done some great outreach with the Fisher House and the good things that they do for vets. And he's all about that. In fact, him and his lovely wife, Gloria, who I did dance with last night at our Good News party. Hey, she can, well, Bobby, you know, these are entertainers in addition to do-gooders in the world.
Well, she's my life.
I know that, Bob. I know that. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Okay, we got to take the mic off. Okay, so we're here ready now to, we're going to go to some videotape of the Roque Calero Perez from Las Palmas University in the Gran Canary Islands. We're going to insert this presentation that Roque gives me and talks about the Gran Canary, which is the largest island as part of the 7 islands that are in the Gran Canaries, and how they're using desalination process to give themselves fresh water to drink. So it's very interesting. I come back after the beginning and make sure I understood some of the things he was talking about, because there's some technicalities here. So please stay tuned to it and listen to it and watch it. And you'll learn about potentially what we could be actually doing. They could be doing in Liberia with their salt water next to their country in West Africa, as well as we can do that right here in our little town of Manhattan, Brooklyn, with the Hudson River, which has salted way up now. It used to be more fresh water in the Hudson River. Interesting, right? We could be doing that as well if we needed more drinking water. Okay, so here we go with the video. Okay. All right. Well, actually, we've moved. This is a big deal for us. We've moved our location from the middle of the conference center over to one of the rooms. There's many different rooms here with many different organizations, and these are associated with some of the universities that are connected here. And one of the universities is in the Gran Canary Island. There's 7 islands in the Gran Canaries, and one of the largest where we have a friend, Vera Brown, who's the head of the American Chamber of Commerce, who I will see on Saturday. And Al Gore, I believe, was just here recently, and she hosted him. And but our good friends at the Las Palmas University has been helping us, like producing. She's Rosario. She's a producer now for Good News. She doesn't know this yet. I will tell her she's the producer now. And so she's been helping, and she mentioned to us. Make sure I say your name right.
My name is Roque Calero.
Roque Calero Perez.
Perez.
Okay, you have 3 names. Is it family names?
I'm a teacher from Las Palmas University.
Okay.
I teach in mechanical engineering, but in this moment I'm working in a special program for develop sustainable in the south of the Gran Canaria, in a community about 100,000 people. And we have many different projects carry on to develop sustainable development of the coma of the zone in energy, water, tourism, food, transport, etc. And especially the water project consists, as you can see in this.
Okay. So what we're going to do here is this, because this is going to be part of a special for our Water Hour program, which we produce. Each week we do, it's called the Water Hour. And we broadcast it live to the world through the web, internet broadcasting. And we're going to put this interview right now, everything. I don't edit, no editing. We're going to put this on the show. And thank you for agreeing to speak with us. So if you can explain what you're doing here for water, to take salt water and make it fresh water, the concept, we would be very appreciative. Okay.
Well, in the actual situation of the zone in 2005, this is the consumption of water. It's a level consumption. All the water of the zone is...
So the consumption, if you don't mind, total consumption, extra, I'm going to read the English, 8 million per year.
We have losses in the grid, very important losses, 2 million, and the consumption is 66 liters per hour per day and per person day.
Okay, so for this population of 100,000 people, approximately, they're using 66 liters hour per day.
Yes, exactly. All the water comes from the sea with that desalination system.
Okay, since you are an island, you have a lot of water around you, right? You have plenty of salt water.
Yes. The other is the safe water. We have a big problem to save water in all this part of the island. And we try to save more than 50% of the consumption. 50% to save water.
Safe water or to save water? I'm sorry.
This is less water.
Save, S-A-V-E. Save the water.
Save the water.
Okay.
All the water comes from the sea, and desalination is depurated in a big plant, which depurated 80% of the total production of water.
Okay, so it says here sewage water purification. Okay, the depuration is the Spanish. So purify the water. So take the water from the salt content and make it into fresh drinking water.
Okay. No exactly drinking water. There's a first step of depuration, first step, and a second step.
Okay, 2-step plan.
The second step converts water in drinkable water.
Okay, and the first step?
50% of the total production is converted at the end in drinkable water again, and is sent into the greenhouses of the sun.
Okay.
For agricultural application.
And the first step is to do what?
The first step is the water is not drinkable water. It's necessary. It's not possible to use the water only in gardens and irrigation in trees, high trees, etc. But not by the irrigation in greenhouses.
Can you use salt water to water the trees and to water the grass? Salt water?
No, water with depuration.
Purified, desalinated. Oh, wait a second.
No, desalinated is converted seawater in drinkable water. This is the desalination.
Okay.
Okay? Seawater, through the desalination system, is converted in drinkable water. This drinkable water is sending to all the town.
Okay.
And the source water is the name? The water who leave the houses and the industries.
Sewage. Sewage water?
Sewage water, exactly.
Sewage water purification.
Exactly, purification. And then this water, a part of the water, 50% of the water, is converted in drinkable water again, with another desalination system.
Okay, so the water from the sewage, 50% of that gets purified.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And sent into the greenhouses. Well, at the end of the plant, the total consumption will be lower. The 100% of the desalination is produced with the energy of wind park.
Now, these are islands. I know when my daughters told me I was going to Canary Islands, she says it's very windy in the Canary Islands.
Yes.
So this is an ideal solution for Canary Islands that are all islands and the wind is coming.
And in this moment, there are installed there 50 megawatts of wind power, and 30 megawatt is the power directed to the desalination system.
So a percentage of the 51 megawatts, 30% is used for the desalination.
Exactly. And the total desalination is produced with wind energy in the future.
So it's all being done through this wind energy system. You don't need any energy for these?
No energy.
No energy.
Another energy.
So what's the concept of these? We have these in Palm Springs.
Yes.
In America.
They produce electricity.
They produce
Electricity. The electricity move the pump for the high pressure for the desalination.
So this moves this pump
Exactly.
through energy.
This
is a good invention.
Yes. Was that good? And we pretend that
It's a good invention.
we pretend that the total production of the energy at the end of the plant will come from renewable energies.
So most of the energy is going to come from the wind energy. Self-sustaining.
Self-sustaining.
Okay.
One part will be directed to produce water. Another part will be directed to transport system for electric vehicles.
To transport the water?
Yes, with electric vehicles. Another part to pump water for an hydroelectric central system. And we try that the Gran Canaria island will be autosufficient in 80% of the total energy consumption in 2015.
Does the Gran Canary, how often does it rain in the Gran Canary Islands?
How?
How often does it rain?
Oh no, very few times a year.
Very few times a year?
Yes.
So it's a dry agriculture.
In Gran Canaria, in this moment, we produce...
Turn this way. Okay, we've decided to make a move so we can see better. You stay there, I'm going to stay here. And we put this all on, it's fine.
In this island, in this moment, 80 million of cubic meters of water come from the sea, from the desalination plant. 80 million of cubic meters per year.
Most of the water.
Yes.
So this is active. This is active right now, and has been active for how long? When did you build this?
This system is running now. It's running now.
10 years ago? How many?
15 years ago.
15 years ago, this was built.
Yes. In this zone of the island, 100% of the water consumption comes from the sea through a desalination system. The production of this plant is 80 million of cubic meters per year.
So total consumption except agriculture,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
losses, okay. So without this, you would have to import water to your country, to the Gran Canary. You'd have to come to...
No, before.
What did you do before this?
Before, the population was very slow.
Small, okay.
Small. And the water consumption, the water was cut every week. We have water 2-3 days a week only.
They rationed the water.
Very strong ration. And what very important, the agricultural completely stopped, especially the bananas, the cultivation.
Bananas and tobacco were your two big exports.
Yes. But in the 20 years ago, it was finished because we have no water.
Wow.
Okay? And then the desalination plant and the petrol energy have permit to plant again bananas and the cultivation and population grow, etc., etc. In this moment, this island depends of the petrol on the total production economy.
So it totally depends on this. If not, you have to import big bottles of water.
Big bottle. And we pretend that in 2015.
Now, I would think you need to have two, because you need backup. You have many desalination,
Yes.
Because if something breaks,
No, we have many in the island.
you have many. Okay,
Yes, we have many.
you have many of these plants.
Yes, of this plant. This is not the biggest.
How
The
many
biggest,
plants you have?
more than 40 plants.
40 plants? Desalination plants?
Desalination plant.
Oh,
Yes. We desalinated practically total consumption of the population of the Gran Canaria island. And the population of this island is 1 million of people.
let me ask you another question, a little different, okay? Because I just interviewed the Nobel Prize winner for chemistry, the host, and we talked about water. And I asked him, he's a chemist, and I asked him, does he have a solution to desalinate water, salt water? Because every week on my show, I ask the world to tell me about how can we get the desalination process. And John F. Kennedy of America, he said that the person who can solve the water problem in the world will get 2 Nobel Prize winners, one for peace and one for chemistry, okay? So I think this man might deserve another one. His suggestion to me, and I hope the whole world hears this, okay? And there's somebody doing this because we're all in this together. It was to solar, that the sun should be the desalination process. Do you know if somebody is doing that as a concept?
Desalination
The
from the sun.
solar desalination.
But the performance of this system of desalination is very slow.
It's slow?
It's very slow. And with system, depending on the sun, the production will be, in any case, very slow. And it's impossible to produce water like this system. That's the reason. It's very slow, the production, and very how the price of water production. Because the installation are very expensive.
Okay, why is it slow?
Because the energy per square meter of the sun is very slow. And you need about 40 kilowatt hour, 4 kilowatt hour, 3 kilowatt hour to produce 1 cubic meter of desalination with this system, reverse osmosis. The reverse osmosis system is the lower consumption in energy to produce drinkable water from the seawater. Then we need between 3 and 4 kilowatt hour per cubic meter. And the irradiations, solar irradiation, is very slow. You can produce per square meter very few liters per day.
So why people use solar in a solar house? They put the panels, right? And people say that even in the street, in this, that there's energy. Is there no way to speed up the process? There's no invention that you could maybe think of that could speed up the solar concept? This is very good, of course, but not everybody has the wind that you have, right? Okay, so it's not gonna. This concept is going to be good for the desert that has wind, and not necessarily for Vermont. Okay, the places have no wind. So we need to find a solution for those places.
Well, we have in the Gran Canaria there is a research center which has worked about desalination system with solar.
Oh,
Yes, thermal solar and photovoltaic solar. Thermal solar, the production is very slow, very low. Then we can produce few liters per square meter per day. Then you cannot supply a big population with this system. And the photovoltaic system, you can obtain more energy and you can produce more water, but it's very, very expensive.
But money is not the issue. Money cannot become the issue because if the world is not going to die from no water, then somebody's going to be smart enough not to make any more bombs and spend money on the armies, and they're going to save the people by the water, of which they can't figure out in Africa right now, and people have to die there because we can't get them water. So that's another whole crisis. But please.
No, the problem with the desalination and solar energy is especially the price. For Africa, it's impossible to produce water there. It's the high prices.
Do they have wind in Africa? Don't they have the deserts in Africa?
Yes,
They have wind.
Of course, of course. One possibility of the wind energy is to convert the wind energy in hydrogen, and then to burn hydrogen to produce water in normal system, in traditional system. This is a good solution.
I'll say this again.
To convert the wind energy.
Take the wind in Africa. Let's go to Africa now.
Of course, in hydrogen.
Take the wind.
And transport hydrogen and burn hydrogen in thermal plant. It's a very good.
Take the energy from the wind to
passing through hydrogen, and then you can transport the hydrogen.
Transport the hydrogen.
And for Europe, let's say, and to burn this hydrogen in a thermal plant, unconventional thermal plant.
Okay, in a thermal plant.
Yes.
So to make hydrogen through the wind energy, take the hydrogen and bring it to a thermal plant.
Exactly.
And the thermal
produce electricity.
As the electricity.
Yes.
And then somehow transport the water to that location.
Yes. Possible.
This is a good idea?
Yes. There are many possibilities for the future, I think. Because I think the first problem for the humanity in the next year will be the energy, and the second will be the water, especially in Africa. But I think the unique possibility to produce water at low cost is wind energy.
Wind energy.
Yes.
In Africa, I know many people that are building wells for people in Africa.
Yes.
Because there is water there.
Yes.
Right? So, but soon there will be no water like there is in the aquifer is being used up all around.
Yes.
And they're arguing already in California, Nevada, California, they're starting to say, whose water is it? So these are other solutions we need to figure out a solution because we have these polar ice caps and they're melting, all right, because of the CO2. So we have to lower the seas to take the water from the polar ice caps, even equilibrium. So this is good, right? But we don't want to go too much because then there'd be no fish, right? All right, so it's a problem again, right? But there's a big ocean. So this is very good. Anything else we should tell the audience?
No more. I think I expect that the project will continue. No? At the moment, that depends on the politician. Perhaps it can be a problem or not. I don't know. But by the moment, we are very, very, very well. To say.
You're doing well.
Yes.
You're doing right now. It's very good, magnifico.
And the future, I don't know.
The future, we hope. The future is a necessity.
Yes.
Is a necessity for the Canary Island. This concept, but taking it now, maybe using the wind power, and then the development of hydrogen energy, and this can be done.
Yes.
That's the fact. The facts of the matter. This place and this country is living on this concept. And we need to further it for the world because it is a big concern. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Excuse me my English.
No, excuse my Spanish. And you did very, 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 very well. Thank you. Okay, Paul Sackers, Good News Broadcast. Thank you very much. Okay. So I just wanted to do a pickup here, and we're going to attach this to the other piece. I needed to go back to school again and to learn because I was confused a little bit. Not unusual. But if I can understand it once, then I can understand it probably for a long time. So I went back to our good friend here, because I was still confused about this process of desalination and reverse osmosis. So what I understand now is this, that when you take a gallon, let's use the American gallon because I don't understand meter, of salt water, and you desalinate it, you have to, with the equipment that has been invented so far, half of the 50% of the water becomes purified, and the way it gets purified is that gets cleansed to drinking water, but the salt from that 50% goes into the other 50%. That is what they call reverse osmosis. So now you have half a gallon, 2 quarts, of clean drinking water, and you have 2 quarts of very salty water. So now we have to take that salty water, and either it goes back into the ocean and somehow, and that's if it's not next to the ocean, then you have to carry it there. But this is best next to the ocean, right? To have the plant where you do this process right next to the water. Is this the ideal location? Is the ideal location for a plant, for a desalination plant, right next to water, so you don't have to transport the water anywhere? So we build the plant right on the shore, next to the water. Is that the good thing to do?
I don't understand.
You don't understand. Do we want to have the water, we want to make the plant, the facility,
Yes, the facility.
right next to the water, so you can bring the water in and take the water out. You desalinate it, you have the water with the extra salt, goes back into the ocean. This is the process?
Yes, but in the case of the desalination of seawater, the rejected water, more salted, is sending to the sea again.
Yes.
Because this water with more level of salt is disseminated in the sea.
Yes. Okay. So it's good though to make what I was only saying is make the plant, your location, right next to the water.
Yes.
So you don't have to transport it. It goes in. Here's the water. Mm-hmm. Right here, the water. You make the plant right here.
Yes.
Right next to the water.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's So that's the process. And we said that solar to make the energy to run the desalination just is a kind of a slow process and expensive to the photovoltaic system is just expensive at this point unless they figure out a solution. And one of the things, and maybe this is the thing for Africa, is because they have a lot of wind here, I believe, that they go into business. We go into business with all these countries, and we build the windmills, the wind things, and they build the hydrogen, which gives the energy, and then it goes into the plant.
And to employ this energy to sell water.
And employ the people.
With reverse osmosis system.
With reverse osmosis system.
Yes. It's a lower consumption to produce drinking water from the seawater.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was clear on that, and he's a gentleman, and thank you, and scholar. Thank you. Gracias. Okay, thank you. Okay, so that was Senor Perez from the Gran Canary Islands, La Palmas, and part of the university. He's an engineer, and as you can see, he's quite engineering his outreach into the salt water and how they go about reverse osmosis, and tremendous amount of water is able to be drank as a result of that. So it's one of the ways of the future. Actually, we have a Nobel Prize laureate, and we'll be on one of the other shows that we ask him about what he thinks about warming of the waters, ways to go about it. And so at another point, we'll listen to him and his thoughts. So once again, remember, to reduce, reuse, recycle, and our thought here is just let's share the information. So to close today's show, we have La Sarah. Hi, La Sarah, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Okay, good. We're meeting through a mutual friend, Ward Morehouse, who knows all the great talent in town, in New York area. You're from the New York area originally?
Yes, I am. Yeah, originally I'm from Long Island, and now I live and sing in the city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And did you sing growing up in your career?
Yeah, I started at age 8 in my hometown church, and I've loved it ever since.
Okay. What do you like about singing?
I love singing because it's my way of communicating through music to other people. It's how I express emotions. It's how I express inspiration, how I hopefully inspire other people. And I think life is all about making those connections, inspiring each other. So that's what I do through my music.
Now, do you also, besides singing, do you arrange and write
I do. I'm a
lyrics?
songwriter. Yes, I do. And it's great. It's great to be part of the creative process.
Now, I know, look at the beautiful pictures, you're a beautiful woman.
Thank you.
Those are helpful in the world of entertainment, and this is a CD. But let's talk about water for a second.
Sure.
Because I believe you have some affinity towards the water because why?
Lots of reasons. I'm a very emotional person, very passionate, as many performers are. So I do love the water because, there's that connection. I swim and I surf, and to me, being out in the water, surfing, swimming, is kind of like dancing, which is really interesting because this song that we'll be talking about is I Hope You Dance. That's what the title is. And, it's really great. I mean, water is, part of our lives. It's a huge part of our lives. And so, yeah.
Yeah, you also told me that you were at some point a swimming instructor or a
Yes, sure.
lifeguard? Were you ever a lifeguard?
Lifeguard and swimming instructor,
Now,
yeah.
where were you a lifeguard at?
Out on Long Island, and I taught 8 to 14-year-olds, and it's great. It's great to have the kids there and to be connected with them. And I realized that another way I can be connected to people is music, and so that was great.
Beautiful. Okay, well, this is our opportunity to hear you. Tell us about this song.
Sure.
And the whole production.
Sure. This song is called I Hope You Dance. This is my unique rearrangement of this song. This song was first recorded by Leanne Womack, and it was written by Mark Sanders and Tia Sellers. And this is my unique version of it. What had happened was I had sung this on the Hallmark Channel, and I had gotten a note from a neighbor, and she said, I wanted to let you know that the whole family, saw you on TV, and I want to let you know that I tell my children that I hope you dance. I want them to live life. So the I hope you dance, what that really means is I hope you go out and enjoy your life and live it. And she sent me this very nice note that said, and I imagine you, singing this song, and we saw you on, TV singing this, and it was really great to get that inspiring note. So I rearranged it into this arrangement, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
I'm thinking, just because today's show was, there was some ups and downs about the world of water here today, because we had such a flood yesterday, and there was concerns about the water and stuff. And the nice thing, I guess, in life is that when someone's, and being a musician myself, so I'm thinking out loud here with you, I hope you dance, I guess everybody dances to a different beat, right? I mean, there's a song. And so, so if dancing to the beat of curing the water concerns of the world, dancing to the beat of just dancing and having hearty time, it's all good, right? And
as long as you're inspiring people, you're doing what you feel like you're meant to do, that's great.
It's a beautiful thing. Well, I'm so proud that we have the chance to see your performance.
Oh,
and
thanks
congratulations
for having me here.
for it.
Thank
you. So let's go to the DVD.
Wonder. You get your fill to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you never fear those mountains in the distance. Never settle for the path of least resistance. Living life means taking chances, but they're worth taking. Loving might be a mistake, but it's worth making. Don't let some jealous heart leave you bitter. When you come close to selling out, reconsider. Give the heavens above more than just a passing glance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, dance. I hope you 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 dance. I hope you
Wow. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
It's very, very, very tasteful. I like the way that's done. It's, I like it's all, in essence, it's you sharing yourself, similar to like what you said, with the world. Even your video is not, in my mind, all crazy and cut there, there. It's just sort of like you're talented, and you put the light on you. You have the big light there and the black limbo set. Whoever produced the piece for you, in my mind, as a 35-year veteran of producing shows, I congratulate you.
Thank you.
Because you're showing the true talent as opposed to somebody's camera up and down movements, which in my mind sometimes can complicate the issue.
Thank you. Well, it was a lot of fun to do it. It's always fun to be creative, to be in front of the camera, and to, like you said, to show people who you are and what you feel comfortable doing. So it was a great experience.
All right. You have a website?
I do. Yes, I would love everyone to go on the website. It's www.lasaramusic.com, which is spelled LASARAmusic.com, and there you can read my bio, listen to my songs, download songs, buy my CD, and see where I'll be next.
Okay. Thank you, LaSara.
Thank you.
Okay, so that wraps up our show, number 25. And there's a picture of your your website. Great.
Wonderful.
And we'll see you next week. Remember, reduce, reuse, recycle. Be nice to somebody. And I think, as the song says, I hope you dance to whatever your own beat of your own drum. We all deserve to be happy in our own lives and help those around us, and that's what the entire ball game's all about. So have a great week, and thank you. We're really happy you're tuning in and continue to send in different suggestions of people we can interview, as well as any questions that we can share with the audience. So take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.